Welcome back everybody, MC here with another video, and today I want to show you guys how to mine meteorite in Terraria. So the first thing we need to do is we need to get meteorite to spawn, and the way to spawn meteorite is to kill Brain of Cthulhu or Eater of Worlds, depending on if you're on Crimson or Corruption in your world. And then during the night after you kill the boss, a meteor has landed, will come up on the bottom left of your screen. And that's when you know you're ready to go. So you just pretty much travel from your spawn point all the way to the left side of the world and then all the way to the right side of the world until you find where the meteor has landed. Mine has landed, very unfortunately, in the Crimson biome, which means there's going to be extra spawns of these meteor heads. So the old way to mine meteorite was you blow it up, and it was a lot easier and quicker that way. Nowadays, you need to mine it, and you can't use the shovel, as you can see. And I'm just going to drop a bomb as well to prove that you can no longer use bombs to mine meteorite. And you need to use the pickaxe pretty much from killing Brain of Cthulhu or Eater of the Worlds in order to mine the meteorite. The Deathbringer pickaxe is the one for the Crimson world. So, in order to mine this meteorite, the first thing you're going to need is the obsidian skull. You get the obsidian skull by getting obsidian, and you get obsidian by collecting it when water meets lava. And the reason why you need the obsidian skull is so that you don't burn from standing on the meteorite blocks. It's very, very important. Make sure you get the meteor or the obsidian skull. And unfortunately, the obsidian skull doesn't protect you against fire damage against the meteor heads. So those guys are still going to be a pain in the ass, but it's fine. So what you can get from the meteor itself, or the meteorite bars, is you can get the meteorite armor and the space gun. One of the best sets in the game, especially if you're just doing a casual playthrough where you're allowed to choose any items you want. So make the full set, and it will pretty much do you all the way until hard mode. And as soon as you hit hard mode, you're going to be getting the spider armor anyway. So it's going to be a very easy transition from the meteor armor to the first of the hard mode armors. The space gun, you have unlimited ammo with as long as you're using the full meteor set. So you're going to be able to destroy enemies now. And the meteor armor and the space gun is usable against Wall of Flesh. So you're going to be pretty strong, as I said. So we are going to go back to the actual meteorite itself now, and I'll show you how I usually mine it. Obviously, you can come up with your own ways, but usually what I do is I see which way the meteorite heads are coming from, and I stay on one side of them, and then I dig kind of like underneath or kind of into the meteorite through the dirt, and that way you can continue to mine the meteorite while the meteor heads are coming in. Obviously, as you move further into the meteorite, they're going to start spawning from other sides too, and the only way to get rid of those stupid heads is to mine every bit of meteorite. Now, you would want to do that anyway because you want to get the money and you want to get meteorite bullets, and you also want to just get rid of it in general because it can be a nuisance. But you also want to get rid of an extra spawn that you don't want to be happening in the Crimson. So get rid of all of the meteorite. Try and get rid of every single bit of it if you can. And that way you'll prevent these heads from spawning. Normally, if you're in a normal biome, you will only have 4 of these meteorite heads coming towards you. But because I'm in the Crimson biome and the spawn rate is increased, I think I'm getting 5 or 6 if I'm not mistaken here. But it doesn't really matter. The old way that we used to spawn the meteor was to die to Brain of Cthulhu or Eater of Worlds. Wouldn't say on purpose, but you're not trying to put up much of a fight. And the meteor will spawn pretty much the next night. But they nerfed that, where you actually have to kill Brain of Cthulhu or Eater of the Worlds, which slows us down a little bit as people who are trying to get through that part of the game early, because you have to do a little bit more prep work in order to not actually fail the fight, because it doesn't matter if you failed if you wanted to get the spawn of the meteorite, but now, of course, you have to win. So Pity that they nerfed that. Some people, of course, would find it cheesy. It was nice to have, of course. And I believe there was a very small chance of meteorite spawning as well if you destroyed some of the spawners for each of the worlds or Brain of Cthulhu. But that's a very small chance. If you spawn Eater of Worlds or Brain of Cthulhu back in the day, before it was patched, you were guaranteed a meteor as soon as you died or as soon as you killed the boss, of course, if you were prepared enough. If you can get rid of all of this, you're going to make a ton of money, or you're going to have a ton of bullets, or both, and you're not going to end up with these stupid meteor heads coming at you. When it comes to the fire damage that these guys do to you, they can be very damaging. I haven't really been hit much by them in this yet, but if you do get hit by them, they do a lot of damage, especially over time. So just be very careful. I'm not saying I make it look easy with them, but I haven't shown you how difficult it can be if they actually get to you. You can pickaxe them out of the air, and you can also switch over to your mini shark as well if you want to kill them. So it takes a little bit of time, especially if you're going to be in the Crimson biome. Now, the meteor or the meteorite can land on sky islands. I hate when that happens because sky islands are hard to get to if you haven't found the one that is landed on. So if you travel all the way to the left side of the map, and then you travel all the way to the right side of the map, and you can't find a meteorite anywhere, check the sky islands. There's a high chance that it's up in the sky. And it's going to be a lot harder to mine it up there, believe me. Especially if you... The meteor heads usually tend to take away the spawns of the other enemies, but if you are unlucky enough to get a bunch of harpies at the same time as the meteor heads, you're going to be in for a pretty pain in the ass time if you don't have any, like, lucky horseshoe or fledgling wings or so on. If you have any questions about meteorite, let me know. It's a very important material in Terraria, and I would recommend getting it in every single playthrough. Even if you are doing a melee playthrough and you're not allowed to use the space gun, I'd still recommend getting the meteorite just so you can either sell it, or maybe if you want to make the armor, because it's quite good armor on its own, even if you're using a melee class. And it'll set you up for the Queen Bee and for Skeletron, and then for Wall of Flesh, obviously. So let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any questions. I will see you again in the next video, and ta-ta!